Hi, how's it in the name of Christ? How you doing? It's your girl Cake Karabo. I hope you're good. I hope you're peachy. I hope you're stellar. And I hope you're in a neat little bunch. If you're not, welcome to the party. That's just the story of our lives. Yeah, let me just put some caveats out there. Kindly look out for my captions. They're not always accurate. They sometimes use a small g for God. They're sometimes the wrong word altogether. Or they are misspelled. That's not what I would generally do. One day in the future, God willing, I'll edit them, but I don't think there is a future. But anyway, let's move on. I believe the rapture is happening. Secondly, I'm very potentially wearing application makeup. If I am, you'll know. If I'm not, you'll also know. It tends to bounce off and on my face. That is not intentional. It's an app, okay? I'm not shapeshifting. Anywho, and then I have like a segment. Let me just get in and out of this like real quick so that I can get this video done with as soon as possible, because I insist on doing just one part because it's super late now, because I had to do some emergency shorts. Anyway, whatever. So I'm pinching my cheeks to bring out a blush. I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. I'm only human after all. Don't take a jab at me. To show you that I've got blood in my body. When you prick me, I bleed. When you afflict me, I get afflicted, etc. I don't know if it happened. If it didn't, tomorrow's another day, okay? We need to get straight into the point. Okay, so today's the 13th of June, 2024. Well, yeah, it's officially the last day of my fast, but it's actually the 12th because I'm hopping over into the next day from yesterday, from the 12th. But today's my last day of fasting, so tomorrow officially I'm eating again. So one last day of a rough life. That's what I'm getting at. And I am going to break the fast because something is telling me there is no need to keep striving so much, guys, because we're proper like at the end. Okay, so I just told you now, guys, that what is this? I just did some emergency shorts. Those shorts were basically a lament that I recorded to speak out against love spells mixed with death spells. Just a combination, like a pendulous thing. I just had to upload those real quick. I had a really horrible day yesterday. Well, actually today, but you know how I hopped over into the next day? Because I was just bombarded by barrages of such attacks as these. From licentious men, stupid monsters that just keep going back to the drawing board. They belong to their father, the devil. And God told me that these men are like Tupac, in that they are young, right? They are Gen Zs, right? Kids. Like this time around, the dude in America is always going to be a menacing pervert. That's just like a tail all up in my grill. But I am making war right now with some Gen Z kids, like some 20-something-year-olds, and I keep on lamenting that I don't want them. They're kids. Like, what am I gonna do with them? I'm 39. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I've been getting harassed, lambasted by literally a pendulous cycle of psychosis moving between love spell and death spells from complete strangers, like an irritation from kids. Guys, you know what? This world is over. Like, it's thoroughly over. And the Lord showed me that these kids, these Gen Z boys, they are like Tupac. The Lord has told me to warn that they're gonna die like Tupac. Coming out, or I get that Tupac passed away in Las Vegas. He got shot in Las Vegas. And Las Vegas, by the global citizenship, is known as this like gambling capital of the world. Alright? And witchcraft is a gamble. It is a gamble, like a gargantuan gamble. People do it not sure if it all is gonna work. And when it works, they're like, yay. When they get a win or they hit a jackpot, they're like, yay. They go into it trusting that they're not going to get caught, however uncertain if they're going to get what they want in sorcery. So they're just experimenting. But why it's gambling and why it's dangerous is because it sends spirits out there to afflict people in order to achieve the goals that these people are trying to achieve. So you get truly depressed, you get truly macabre, you get truly miserable, melancholic, you get given feelings, if at all that's what the witchcraft is trying to do, la corvela, etc. You know what I mean? Like, it manipulates people, it steals people's autonomy. So it is a gamble with demonic spirits that have got, I guess, power to truly afflict the victims of these witches. So that's why it's a gamble, because it's messing with human lives. But you see, with a gamble, the individual in question that is gambling goes to the casino, right? Puts in some coins and some slot machines, parts ways with hard-earned money to partake in this fruitless deed. And every so often, they lose thousands. Every so often, they lose lots and lots of money, their houses, they lose their cars, they lose their wedding rings, they lose their, you get my point, their children's education fund. They gamble it all away. So what would be the equivalent of the tantamount of this gambling activity? It is what it is that these people could potentially lose as a result of partaking in these fruitless deeds of darkness. It is written in God's word that the devil has come to steal, kill, and destroy, but Christ has come to give life and life abundantly. And life and life abundantly. So therefore these people are facing theft, loss, and destruction as a result of messing with Satan. Them rubbing a genie, like a genie in a bottle, thinking that this is a joke, it's Aladdin. They are busy rubbing a genie, trying to get something that does not belong to them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what's good. And the end result could be a severity of loss. Just like with any gambling exploit, there is always a potential that an individual can come out on the other side bereft with loss. Like with them being in real huge trouble, massive trouble. Do you understand what I'm saying? With loss. And seeing as the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy, from what the Lord showed me, the reaction, the result of what they're doing right now is going to result in the kill component of Satan. They're going to die. The devil is literally sending them to the end of their lives. I've been saying, all of y'all randos, all up in my particular grill, and, well, the grill of Christians at large. But in my particular case, the Lord has been warning, and through me, since I've been rocking up speaking on the daily, that people, leave us alone as Christians. We are headed home. Stuff is going to be intense, right? But like, in the run-up to Christ ultimately rapturing the church, whatever is attempting to mow a Christian to the ground, finishing them off before the time that the Lord will reprieve them, that person is going to be moved out the way. Yesterday, I did a 2-part series. It was lengthy, okay? 2 parts, both parts of which was super long, especially the last part, just speaking about these people that keep on gambling, that keep on going back to the drawing board to mess with people, and how it is that their persistence is what's going to eventually kill them. I spoke about how it is that it's like I am killing people by giving the gospel, because the intention is not to kill them, is to redeem them, but the message is ending their lives. The message of the cross is rather ending them. They're not responding with repentance. They are responding with what do you call this? They're responding inappropriately in a very destructive fashion that's causing them to severely persecute Christians further. And this is then going to cause God to react by ending their lives. Like I've been saying this on a loop, guys. And I did a whole 2-part series yesterday just rapping on about that particular topic. That God is going to, he's reached pretty much the end of himself when it comes to occult practitioners. These experimenters, these people that keep on testing everything, thinking that what's there to lose. Especially those who practice in their own personal capacity, who don't necessarily consult the Sangoma, but they do it in their own backyards, because either batwasite, or they have learned a tutorial on YouTube or whatever. They feel like they're not even parting ways with money, so they just experiment in their kitchens, and they don't realize that these experiments are actually sending true entities out into the world to afflict their victims. The people that they're gunning for are actually being afflicted by these entities. They're being given they're being destituted of autonomy, if you know what I'm saying. Like their minds are being made for them concerning whatever it is that these people are trying to do. So they think that it's harmless because, I mean, what do I have to lose? I'm just experimenting in my kitchen with a tomato and a garlic. That's all I'm doing. There's nothing that I'm losing, except there is a holy God in heaven that is livid. That's what I'm trying to explain right now. There is a holy God in heaven that is seething with anger. Do you understand? That is about to cancel them, clip their silver cord, end them. Last night, before I went to bed, I had a dream of, you know that, the shorts that I've been doing with the fallen angel look, yeah, where I'm basically teasing humanity for listening to fallen angels and all that jazz, where I'm using the English accent, or is it Yoruba, is it Australian, I don't know what you want to call it, but I think it's an English accent. Those shorts with that fallen angel, I had a dream of that avatar, that fallen angel filter, me basically in that filter, out here, being placed on a roulette table. Like, are you serious? Like on a roulette table at a casino, encircled by men I did not know. And I was in that fallen, that filter, yeah, that short. I was in that, and I was in the center, and I was just riddled with red, the color red. And the color red always, in my particular own individual unique experiences, symbolizes witchcraft. Like I said, it's my uniqueness. It's not to be blanketly applied, but the Lord usually uses the color red with witchcraft, because that's how I've always just affiliated sorcery too. So God uses what it is that I best understand it as, and so the color red is used a lot, and black like especially the combination of the two, black and red, and I was just littered with red, like just sprayed, like sprawled with it in that dream. Basically, essentially, apparently, allegedly, I am under a lot of attack spiritually, witchcraft, by a bunch of gambling people that have put me in the center of a roulette table, unbeknownst to themselves, that they are individually wreaking havoc in my life in this particular regard, because they're doing these rituals uniquely, individually, in their own personal capacities. But it's almost as if though they're all at one roulette table, and the thing to be won, the thing with which everybody's gambling, the chips in this gambling betting game are me. I was tantamounted or equated to the chips on a roulette table in a casino, and I was like painted with red all over. In that filter, essentially, God is showing me all the work you're doing, all the creativity. Literally, they're all gambling. They're gambling to see who among them is going to get me. Who among them is going to get me? And every so often, there is a heinous one that goes to the extreme because he's mad, he's angry, of a death spell. I have literally been getting pendulumed between love and death spell, love and death spell. This morning, I woke up hearing it's tit for tat. There's nothing for mahala. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm not going to help you unless you give me, like, sell yourself, basically prostitute yourself. I'm like, who do you think you are? That level of experimentation, for crying out loud. It is the reason why I have stopped uploading on Facebook, because I don't even want to see DMs. I don't want to see direct messages, because I am always tempted, my finger, like, shaking, to click on them, to see who's in there. I don't want anybody talking to me. I literally don't respond to people anymore. It's that basic. Like, this level of insanity, umuntu, that you find on the internet, that level of experimentation, and it's not just one guy or two, it's a couple. It's a couple of them. And they have all placed me on a roulette table in a casino, and I am the tantamount, seeing as I was on the center of it, seated in it, like literally, like I was chilling, sitting on the table. And I was the thing that was going to be won after these random gambling buffoons who are betting, win or lose. After their game is done, one of them would get to, I guess, cash me in. Ooh, guys. And the thing that they are fetishizing, the thing that they are salivating after, is the comprehensive thing that I am and my creativity. So the video that I did with the fallen angel depiction, it's stuff like that. And I'm like, but you don't know me. I'm not some kid, some school girl that you have a crush on in grade 11 when you're in matric. And every so often you see her from a distance in class, and so you obsess over her and do strange things to yourself at home when you're thinking about her. I'm like so freaking distant. I'm far away. I'm like a whole grown woman. I'm 39. And for these people to consider me something feasible to grab, I am a kid in their school, a fellow student in their high school. It's just so bizarre. It's like I'm so far away. I am somebody from the internet that you would never have met unless you had clicked on my channel. I'm that far away. And yet, they're betting using sorcery on me. That is how crazy this world is. That's how crazy things are. That's how irrational people are. And when then they feel offended, insulted, like the shorts that I did with the man, the voice that I put on the avatar with the man, and talks and lamenting essentially against Korobela. These men who keep on, like, I spoke about how it is like, those shorts, man, that I did with the dude, where I was lamenting about exploitative men like Janice and Jambries, where the dude is like, I'm going to give you money, just take it. Yeah, those shorts. Some of these randos were offended, like exquisitely, by those shorts. They were offended almost as if they'll listen to this, guys. Like, right? Y'all need to understand how crazy this world is. I don't know why anybody feels safe. Why people are not getting saved. I do not know. Like, these people were offended almost as if though I worked with them in the same office building, and then one day they pursued me, and then I made a decision upon rejecting them to then put posters up in the office of some satirical version or image of them, teasing them for trying to get a woman that's out of their league. They are offended. Ingati, it's that kind of an insult, like at that level, like at that close proximity to me. Like I was their colleague and I humiliated them in front of other colleagues, and I also disrespected them to their face. Yo, I don't know you. I'm a total freaking stranger on the internet. Like, it's like that's the level of mental illness that dwells in people in the occult. They feel entitled to respect from people that they find all the way across clouds on Facebook, on TikTok. Literally, it's no wonder there are Facebook murders, TikTok murders, like people out here thoroughly killing somebody else's daughter because they met her on TikTok and she did not appropriately respond to their direct messages, like stalking complete strangers. It's like the world is guys, there was a time when celebrities were the ones who struggled with stuff like this. Yeah, have you seen the movie The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston? That kind of like random stalkery, feverish, strange stuff, because the woman is a star, and of course she's gonna have every so often a couple of like crazy people out here stalking her to a point of it being kind of scary. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, there are oddballs in society that have been like that, just on a loop perpetually all throughout the ages, that out here pursue people that are way too far, too distant, and entirely out of their league. But the practice of occult magic has made the world so insane that there are more people like that freakish stalker in the movie The Bodyguard over Lay Janes and Joes, regular people's daughters and sons, like random people out here having, never mind, a social media aimed at perhaps, spreading a message just like a Christian channel, or being a doctor to share your tips and hints on how to take care of your body. But like people who just have social media like a TikTok because you want to upload your videos, your random videos of you doing a stupid dance. It's nothing hectic. It's just for a small community, you and your friends, people that you know. Instagram is for people that you know, and if you get followed by strangers, okay, whatever. You know what I mean? But it's more private than it is a public persona. You're not YouTube is a public persona because you are doing videos in order that people might follow you and that you might develop some kind of an influencer status. But some places where you go to upload, like for instance on Facebook, it's just because you like photos, you take them and you put them up. Like Instagram, it's like that. These people are disquieting people like those. People that just want to put their pics online. People that just want to put a reel on the internet. Their intention is not to amass 100,000 followers. It's just to be or to have a social media presence because that's what everybody's doing. And then you find yourself literally scooping up a whole entire freaking stalker for like a whole decade. And you don't know whether you're coming or going. And involvement in the occult is achieving that in more and more people. It has created more crazy bodyguard-like stalkers against somebody's daughter with a Facebook account, somebody's daughter with an Insta account, somebody's daughter with a TikTok page. And this chick is now out here being like literally stalked, pursued, followed around after school, raped, maybe murdered. It's crazy. Like, this is what is happening in this 21st century. People are practicing sorcery in their backyards. As a result, they're getting demon possessed. As a result, they're feeling entitled to like comprehensive respect. Ingati, this chick is married to this dude. And so therefore, you better respect me because that is what is right in the sight of God. They feel entitled to respecting Ingati ngabo baba betu, ngabo baba betu, or I'm a boyfriend, or abo husband. They feel entitled to respect like their boyfriends, husbands, or dads, or big uncles. You get my point. Big cousins. Like men that you award respect because you understand them as ones to whom you honor or offer respect, granted that they are a particular role in your life. You don't owe every last random passing buffoon docility. You don't. There are certain men that come into a woman's life that it is right and respectful for that woman to offer that man docility, to humble themselves, to be quiet, to hold their words in, to, dish out a plate for them and wait for them to sit down before everybody can eat. Because you have a certain reverence, a respect for them, due to the fact that, like I said, it's our dad, or it's the husband, or it's big brother, and he's the one that is the sole breadwinner in the house. There are certain men who have just earned that respect, but you don't just go to a taxi rank and start treating a taxi driver like the way you would treat your husband, with that level of, like, Uguzi Toba, man, if you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, Uguzi Toba is it's an admirable thing. To humble yourself in the climate of the testosterone of a man is indeed a good and a noble thing to do. It is even recommended by the Bible, but you don't just award that level of general ubiquitous honor to every man. Yes, respect them in the sense that sawubona and goodbye. Respect them in the sense that you don't pass them shade attitude when they talk to you. You respectfully respond back. You don't give them a whole bunch of, nasty vibes. Nje mahala, just attitude. No, that's not okay. But like, to the point of, like I said, uguzi toba. Humble yourself to their every demand, or humble yourself to their anticipations of you, their expectations of you. Like a husband expects a wife at least in black culture, at least it ought be that way across the board anyway, to carry herself a particular way in his presence in order that her respect for him might be exuded, right? Like, forget the 21st century, but he expects that, like, she's just gonna have an honor, like a humility in his presence, man, in his climate. I don't even know if I'm making sense. I don't know how to describe it. Like, you just feel a sense of, is everything in place in the house before your husband gets home? Like, every respectable wife and honorable wife and dignified wife would have that dwelling in them. If a man is en route home, you look around, check yourself to see if Lomuntu is not going to be just walking into some like sprawled toys on the floor and like a cold environment that with windows open, curtains unclosed and everything a mess. Like there's just a certain women who get it. Okay, I'm not talking about everybody else in these feministic streets, but women who get it, get where I'm getting at, who get that basic thing. That is the kind of uguzi bega, like to watch yourself and how you conduct yourself, because a certain man is coming through, is coming by, is walking into the room. There is a certain checking of oneself by women in the climate of these men because of their prior comprehension of who he is and the clout he carries in her space, her heart. Do you understand? This man, this thing, this clout that he carries, man, relaxang. It does not belong to every random male in South Africa that this woman could potentially meet. She does not check herself the way that she would check herself in the climate of her husband. With some random dude in the office. What the heck? Like, who are you? Like, let me make sure when I'm sitting in the office canteen that when Jabu comes through, that like proper, everything is clean, everything is neat, everything is in its place, and things are not out of place, because the guy cannot be coming here to sit down and go an untidy table. Jabu, shala phansi, boy, if you're not happy, go ask the cleaning staff, Lana, if at all they can be at your beck and call, seeing as that's their job to do that kind of service to you. But it ain't mine. I'm your colleague. Is that basic? And if Jabu feels offended in the office, if he feels offended by you not checking yourself when he walks into the room, heck, he is arrogant. And he's crazy. He's got like a psychosis. He's got a psychosis to expect that every woman uzozi toba to him. In the office, at school, where he takes lectures after hours, like out there in the wilderness, at the mall, every woman must now be like, see, when he walks into the house, his wife be like, Baba Unjan. And he out to be expecting the teller at Pick and Pay to be calling him Baba Unjan. Now chill. Dude, like relax, blom. Make like a flower. Hey, okay. Nah, you check yourself. Because you got some problems out here with some hard-knock delusions of grandeur. You have aggrandized yourself. Hey guys, that's the kind of stuff that results in defila and random gender-based violence from strangers estradini, with taxi drivers out just slapping some like strangers' daughters that they don't know because they felt like these women did not act a particular way. It produces just a feverish misogyny against women that don't owe men, certain men. That kind of uguzitoba. Basic respect is anticipated. It is right, and it is cultural. It's cultured to do that, to offer men basic respect. Sawubona unjan baba, good. Okay. Mara, to be at the mercy and at the beck and call of a man, nje everywhere you go, because yaktanda, man, pumanipele, get out, disappear, proper. Go to the Bermuda Triangle and just disappear. Make like those ships and those aeroplanes. Never come back. Ain't nobody gonna miss you, dog. Like proper. It's that basic. To a point of expecting that level of submission from some woman's daughter that you found on the internet, and she has not even come into a space of agreement, sister girl, that uyaktanda. She has not said, okay, sharp, I'll be your girl. She has not agakomanga lo chiki, but purely because you've got strong feelings for her, the kinds that a husband has for a wife, you then now feel entitled to husbandly treatment. The chick has not said yes. Ubabake akwazi. Her daddy don't know you. Her mama don't know you. Don't nobody know you. Go jarateng. Haona moto. Osekila kopana luena jabu. Mara oso bata tlhompo ya ngwana batho etle. It's the kind of randos that out to be killing women's daughters. Mama be like, but who was that boy? Nane kisa motsebe. Umpolaetse ngwanyana. Umpolaetse ngwana. Here it is that this bugger done killed my daughter. I didn't even know him. My daughter did not bring this bugger home. But nah, dude was obsessed. And dude was out there using Korobela spells in his kitchen. Dude got demon possessed. And dude, upon feeling entitled to Gwenzekile's affection, then goes and kills Gwenzekile when she's like, who are you? Yeah, proper. When Gwenzekile is not like out here crawling on the floor about to eat some dust, just worshipping this dude. This Oki then is killing her for her lack of submission. I guess that's the problem with South Africa, is it not? It's as diseased as it is because we've got a whole bunch of black men who feel that entitled to that level of respect. Every man is entitled to respect. I will admit that. But there are layers, there are rungs, there are levels, there are echelons of respect that women wear. They vest themselves with them, they clothe them because of the title of the man in her life. Her dad. He is her uncle. He is her big brother. He is her husband, maybe even boyfriend. Who are you? Random crush on freaking Instagram. Like, who are you? Who are you? When you don't know her and she does not award you that respect, you don't even get to react like the dad when he's feeling disrespected by his wife and his daughters. You don't get to react like the uncle. Nyadelela, man. Nyadelela. You don't get to act like a very upset fiance or a boyfriend. Angasi. Just some dude, nje, that can, like, rightly feel some kind of way when he's being spoken to by his woman. Like, hey, I'm not for recreational dating. Blom, make like a flower. Okay, Mara, even with the case of boyfriends, there is some kind of expected respect that ought to come from the girlfriend. At least in black culture, that's how it ought. No, it's not black. It ought to be that way across all women. It's just that we're living in a terrible society right now full of feminism. That's what's good. There is just a general homage, if you want to call it that, a respect that women automatically sort of kind of bow themselves down to in the climate of men. It's eroded in the 21st century because people are crazy, women are crazy, everybody's crazy, but it is there. It is there. But it cannot be anticipated that that kind of homage, if you want to call it that, ought be paid everywhere across the show. A dad that is disrespected, rightly, upon being livid, upset, out here raising it as an issue, rightly gets to. He rightly gets to. Similarly too with the boyfriend, similarly too with the husband, similarly too with the uncle that feels disrespected in a room full of crazy nieces. Yes, they get to raise it. They get to also essentially effect what would be the arm of retribution or punishment apart from abuse. There is a way to handle a disrespectful situation as a man without being abusive, condescending, mistreating. You get my point. You know, it's a very thin line. Every so often you can be dealing with some deadbeat rando, alpha male, extreme, out here rolling in a chauvinism, lifting his iron fist hand, clobbering the woman, or even speaking to her like she ain't Jack type thing. Those don't make sense. Relax, blom, make like a flower. There's a way to just put it out there that to a woman that is speaking a certain way to a man without him being out of his rank and his place in so affecting that tantamount of retribution or punishment, or you get my point, just handling a chick for being disrespectful. There is a way around it, and there is also an entitlement to it by certain men in a woman's life, like the dad, like the uncle, like the husband. Yeah, but like when some rod wielding, whip cracking buffoon from freaking YouTube rocks up and starts to crack a daddy whip in the life of a girl that he met like 2 weeks ago on Instagram, uyadelela nja, wadela, uyazini bogatia 1995, itelela, proper, that's you. You are disrespectful on that day. That kid does not have a prerogative to honor you like that, and you therefore also do not have a prerogative, neither right. On that day you are committing crimes. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. To effect the whip that you would have a right to crack if she was your girlfriend, if she had agreed to actually be with you, if she had said, alright, cool, what's the deal? John, Jabu, Temba, and Stephen. But like, she didn't say yes. If anything, she's been kind of avoidant of you. You're kind of creepy. You're breathing down her neck. Personal space is an issue. She's been out here blocking you on Instagram. Like, yeah, your DMs, swipe right, swipe left before reading them. You can tell that she has not read them. And then you have the brazen audacity to like turn green, purple, pink, and blue. All different kinds of colors of the rainbow out here outdoing the LGBTQIA+ community with your theft of the rainbow. That's what's good. Because she dared talk to you some kind of way. Who are you? John, Temba, Pita, and Jabu, Stephen, or rather should I say Stevel, because you're crazy evil. Who are you? Who are you? Allow me to just put this out there, okay? Especially black men, like proper. South Africa. Not South Africa, Africa. Black people. Black world. Let me just speak to Africa, because I think you know, these females in the US or in the West sometimes can get, you know, tarnished by Western culture to not have those African-nesses within them, very rooted way of being. So I shall speak to Africans, African women, African men. Frankly, you would be lying to yourselves through your teeth and all that jazz if you said that we are not among the most respectful women on the planet, that are maintained still largely in a old school womanhood with old school, like, rudimentary roles that are still rooted in us despite all the acquisition of careers and everything and what have you. We are still very fundamental in the way that we operate. We are still very much trad girlfriends, trad wives, trad all that jazz. African women are very respectful. Women and girls, very respectful of men. And they are also very honoring of their gender roles from Fantuka, biblical roles. They still largely attach to them. Therefore, this rise in misogyny in the black community against women, I don't understand. In Africa, in America, you know, they can be feisty. They've been watered down. I don't know what's going on there in Western culture. A lot of the black women are like, whoa, girl, that's a bit extreme. That stuff wouldn't fly down here in these streets. But anyway, God bless America. Let's move on. Type setup thing. But in Africa, our men's misogyny, guys, I don't know where it's coming from. Even when these women go for their careers and whatnot, they still dedicate their bourgeoisie and might to serving men. It's just an African thing. I grew up seeing it. I saw it with my little sister, and she's a Gen Z. There is there is something in African women that is still maintained in old school traditional womanhood. Do you understand what I'm saying? 1 second. Old school traditional womanhood is still largely maintained in Africa. It is like, even in South Africa is, I believe, one of the most disrespectful African nations in the world, like, at all. When it comes to just it thinking that it defecates ice cream, I have said that time and time again. There is a pomp in South Africa about its people, and frankly, it needs to be handled. It needs to be massacred and ransacked. But despite even that general issue that we have as a pompous African nation, there is still a humility to gender roles by African women, South African women, African women at large. Yeah, in a way that causes a crease in my forehead concerning the misogyny every so often and the chauvinism of African men against African women. They act like we're these hard-knock, feministic randos that you find in the West. We are not. We have not been taken by the tsunami of that way, of that, what do you call this thing? Of that movement. We haven't been taken over by it. What has happened, however, in Africa is that women have gained economic strength. In spite of gaining the economic strength, they have maintained their respect for gender roles. So essentially, our men are just greedy. It's that basic. They're upset because of the strength that women have economically, because they cannot lay claim to being upset because of our disrespect, because that is a lie. It is a lie from the pit of hell. They would have to admit it to themselves. And go and live in the US for 10 years. Go and live in Europe, in Australia for 10 years, Europe for 10 years. They would come back with hungry look, lips chapped and everything, of honor, respect, and submission in those spaces, in the way that they likely would get treated by women in the office, the way that they would get treated by women at home, at school, at play, everywhere. And especially in relationships, that you would come back parched, longing to find yourself an African wife because of what it is that you will have made observation of the disparities that dwell in Western culture versus African culture. We are still largely submissive and largely rooted to our roles. So they're disquiet with us anyway. Evidences a greed and a rapacity in them that is speaking to their entitlement to our lack, our want. They want to keep on doing everything for us. So it basically fosters, or it musters up in their bones. Do you understand what I'm saying? Abuse anyway, even when a woman is submissive. Abuse anyway, or a lack of love, a lack of respect anyway, even when a woman is doing everything, bending over backwards to try and cater to the needs of this man. And now when you can't satisfy this person, what do? Well, there's like nothing you can do. We find ourselves abused. We get beaten. We are the most devastated single demographic, black women in South Africa. You know, the statistics for gender-based violence. The country is shy to make it clear that the most afflicted demographic in gender-based violence is black. It is not ubiquitous across colored women, white women, Indian women, etc. Yes, there are white women that get killed. We had Rieva Steenkamp, etc. But the majority of women that are out here perishing under gender-based violence or being raped or getting beaten up or all that jazz are coming from the black community. And people are shy to make mention of this. They cannot ubiquitously apply it to everybody because, frankly, it is afflicting largely black women and it is gratuitous. It is unwarranted, it's unfounded. The reason why they're doing this to us cannot truly be identified, guys. Even with a magnifying glass out here, carefully looking at it as under even a microscope, it does not make any sense at all. Not even in the slightest. The only reason that I can highlight is a woman's economic strength and prosperity, and that is the reason why I keep on getting come up against, like no man's business, harassed by some entitled no-brainers. Do you understand what I'm saying? To give them my love and my affection, because they just want to do for me what it is that a woman must be done for anyway. Let me provide for you. And I'm like, yes, I never had a problem with being provided for by a man or the prospect of it. I've always only ever taken care of myself historically. And guys, I mean, I'm the type of woman who bachelor, not even my ex has bachelored me. I've always had my own. But when I came to Christ, I was willing to submit under the prospect of being comprehensively provided for by a husband while I am a stay-at-home wife. I was prepared to do that. Do you understand what I'm saying? I was prepared to do that. But then I got thrown into this situation. I got thrown into this obscurity. And upon being thrown into this obscurity, I made an observation of how it is that men are not trying to love me. They're trying to rule me. They are trying to conquer me. They are trying to overwhelm me with their authority in a way that is like an iron fist. They're trying to be despots, dictators in my life, and not so much love me the way that Christ loved the church. They're trying to control me. That's when it became daunting and hella freaking scary for me to not be able to provide for myself. I was prepared to do it at some point and give some Christian men a chance, but then I got induced into my bones a severity of post-traumatic stress from simply making an observation of how men react when a woman has nothing. When she has nothing, they insist she stays with nothing. They insist that she is maintained in poverty so they can be the only ones catering to their needs. The dude in America bewitched everything on the left and on the right of me to ascertain that he will forever be my provider without me being able to do anything for myself. That bugger was in the US. So perhaps he was raised in that kind of rancid culture where it is that, the African roots are being wasted away in the Africans they're in. But then I had already, in the run-up to meeting that guy in America, had my own experiences with South African men since I got thrown into a squalor and abject poverty. I found myself getting harassed by black men, do you understand, that hated the idea of me regaining my economic strength. It was not that I was disrespectful and so I deserved to be poor. It was that I was a woman and so I ought to be provided for comprehensively by a man. And while that would have been okay if at all it was not forced on me, it's not okay when it is the only outcome for me, when I have no other options. On that day, then I'm, like I said, under a despot. I am a prisoner. On that day, I am a captive. I am a hostage. And if at all I accommodate a man who is claiming to cater to my needs in this ecosystem, I am suffering from a severity of Stockholm Syndrome. He is my hostage taker, and I ought come free. That created in me, therefore, an extremity of so much trauma that I cannot for the life of me merely just sit around waiting for a guy to provide for me, because the ones that I have been dealt a bad blow by the past decade have expected me to stay poor and them take care of me. It's what I've been fleeing from, and I only got to see those flames when I lost everything. So it's like their true colors were hidden when I was economically strong, and then as soon as I lost everything, they showed that this is how a woman should be, or at least this is what they believe a woman should be. And I'm like, what is this, the Middle East? Next thing I'm actually rocking a hijab? Like, what's next? Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that is the issue that I'm finding here. And the sad and disquieting thing about African men, this is all I gotta say to you, okay? You don't know what you got till it's gone, like proper. You don't know what you got till it's gone. You do not know what you have until it's gone, because the honor and the respect and the reverence and the homage that African women automatically pay to African men is hella rare. It's rare. Go anywhere else in the world, you are gonna struggle to find it. Do you understand? Our respect of men is still rooted in us from Fantuka. And yet, we are the single most unloved demographic of women across the world, to a point where we have been given a title, Angry Black Woman. We are the baby mamas all over the world, but not the wives. We are the ones with the worst rap sheet black women across the planet. And yet we respect men. I'm not going to say the most, because that would then put other women and other cultures out of the water, right? But we still maintain old school roles. We do. There is no reason. There is no excuse. There is no understanding that can be rightly gauged with any level of respectability as to why our men are so resentful of us. There's nothing other than tabayaure. We're making money. My ex-boyfriend, the amount of shade that he used to pass me because of my strength amidst his people, amidst his male people, his dad, his boys, he would change his character, his personality in front of them in dealing with me, and he was hostile towards me in a way that he wasn't hostile towards me when we were together, the two of us, because he was trying to show Uguti Ubani that is cracking the whip here. What was going on over there? The thing that was happening with my ex was him having a woman that is respectful of him, but that he wanted to show everybody he is running and ruling and conquering when he's in the midst of them, to a point of treating me a lot better when it's just the two of us. He wanted to prove to men that he was still running the show. So essentially we get abused, not because we're unsubmissive, but because we are able to take care of ourselves. No other reason. No other reason. No other reason. That is why we are out here getting lambasted by these randos. And so every so often, there are stupid ones on the internet that find women that they don't know from a bar of soap and expect the level of homage that is paid to a dad or a husband. And even with the case of the dad or the husband, do you understand what I'm saying? The dad can effect some kind of punishment on disrespectful daughters, or effect some kind of corrective endeavor on a wife that has just disrespected him, insofar as it was within the parameters of respectability and non-abuse. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. He gets to do that because he is a husband and he is a father. He gets to. But then it becomes wild and incontinent and animalistic, frankly, when then he decides to, I guess, bring out a punch, bring out a knife, and stab the woman 10 times because she disrespected him. That then makes him an unacceptable creature, a menace, a homicidal beast that ought to be put very far away and like forever. That makes him an utterly irresponsible responder to disrespect. There are men who get that, thank God, that there is a way to respond to disrespect that does not abuse. And then there are those who just don't. There are the creeps, the incontinent weird buffoons that have got no internal locus of control. All they do is just blurt out incontinently their wildest fantasies and imagine that they're putting a woman in her place when they slap her, or when they speak down to her, or when they partake in some kind of abuse, verbal, emotional, whatever. You get my point. You catch the drift, right? Yeah. The ones I'm talking about right now are on that extreme. Not only ought they not feel entitled. That's the first thing. To this homage, this respect, this ukuzi toba, this humility. Not only are they in no position to expect it from some chick they met on Instagram, they are over and above it, the kind of dude that even if he was your daddy, even if he was your husband, even if he was your uncle or your big brother, yeah, he would not have a right to beat you for it. He would not have a right to kick you into a moving train for it, throw you off a building, put 36 live rounds in your chest after the first 2 already killed you. That's what I'm trying to explain right now. Not even an entitled to that kind of respect dad is right to respond with homicide or assault. Not even the uncle that's been disrespected by some nieces has a right to respond kampama. Not even that guy. There is a way when you are rightly placed to respond to disrespect from women. When you're rightly placed, so you're the dad. These guys, not only are they wrongly placed to expect that respect, because who are you, taxi driver? But they are also wife beaters, chick beaters, because it's not wives. They're woman beaters. They're the kinds of people to unleash live rounds into, like I said, strangers' daughters on the internet. Like proper, some woman's kid is out here passing away because some freak that met her, she didn't meet him. He met her, he found her profile on TikTok, followed her around, earmarked her, pursued her. She looked at him on some no thank you, and he decided that she's gotta die. Essentially, he's a psychopath, a sociopath, some strange, erroneously placed in society, weird, anomalous freak that ought not exist at all on the planet, especially not among women. And yet, he feels entitled to some woman's daughter and some man's daughter that he found on Instagram, found on YouTube. He feels entitled to the kind of respect that a husband would feel from his wife. And when he doesn't get that respect, unlike a responsible husband, he then responds with a punch, responds with a machete, responds with several gunshot wounds in the skull. This is the 21st century, full of people teeming at the folds with demon possession so exquisite that all they can do is bring about the very end of the world. The very literal end of the world. This is an extinction level crisis. All of these randos concocting spells in their kitchens, out here putting together some fenugreek and some onion, and then insisting that that's going to bring a woman into his life. And when then she doesn't respond appropriately, then it's like, this is tit for tat. You better prostitute yourself to me or else. Or else what? Or else what? Little doggy dog, Rottweiler, whatever you want to be, Jack Russell, that don't know me from a bar of soap. Or what? If I don't want you, you are no one to me. You're not my cousin. You're not my brother. You are not my dad. You are not my uncle. You are not my boyfriend. You are not my husband. You are owed no other respect, but if at all I were to see you in public, a greeting, sawubona, and move on. I'm not going to speak to you down when you communicate with me. If you shell at me, I will say, no, Tamba, I'm not interested. I won't say it to you with attitude. But if, Tamba, you're not the kind of person that takes no for an answer cordially and just kind of backs down because, you know, you win some, you lose some. If you're the kind of dude to then go back to your apartment, grab your 59mm, whatever, grab some kind of a weapon, a machete, I don't know, a cross and a bow, angazi, samurai, bring a sword, okay, to the office and just chop a woman's head off. Yeah, when you do stuff like that, I apologize. You are Ted Bundy, you're Moses Sithole, you are Hannibal Lecter, you are the Amityville Horror, you are some strange, freaky, creepy, ominous serial killer of women. The women of which that you killed didn't even know you. They didn't know you. Don't you see, that's exactly what you are. You're the thing that goes bump in the night of every last woman. Every mother warns their daughter against you. Every mother tells their daughter to not take certain routes back home from school because of freaks like you. People that don't know women. And yet you feel entitled to their respect and their love. And when they say no, because you pursued them on the bus home, you then follow them home and kill them. You're the creep, serial killer that a woman did not know. And then you ended her. That's what you are. You're not dad. You are not husband. You are not cousin. You are not big brother. You are not even colleague. You are just a freak. When you find a woman you are interested in on the internet and then feel entitled to her respect, and then when she calls you out for what you are, because that's what society does, is it not? I'm a satirist, okay? Yeah, I'm full of parody. I make light of very serious matters. So every so often I do a little avatars in a very comical fashion, animation, and I tease the lunacy of the planet around me. It's a way I cope. It is a way for me to deal with an otherwise very severe situation in a way that is, you know, easier to take in one's stride. I try to make it more palatable to the taste buds, otherwise nobody would listen to me. The stuff I experience on a daily basis is so severe. It's so macabre that most people would walk away from me if at all I did not light-hearted a little bit. If I did not make it a little less extreme to the taste buds, most people wouldn't listen to me. If I'm actually always talking about how a guy's on a dead spell, how a guy's on a korobela, this, that, without adding jokes to it, I would highly likely lose all my subscribers. Anybody that keeps on watching my videos would stop. Because it's too hard to keep listening to somebody that's always in a lot of pain. Have you been around that friend that's always getting, like, you know, harassed, abused, or this poverty, Karabo? Now, you know how hard it is to just, when you see them, you sometimes even want to avoid them because, they're going to talk about how there's no bread at home again. It's hard to deal with a person with a bad story. So I use my jocose flair, the comedic edge that God gave me, to light up a very dire situation that I am in right now. Just because of how I make light out of a very dire situation. These random buffoons are feeling offended, insulted. They're feeling offended. I mean, it's what I do. It's what I do. What would you do in the world, in a society where you are living and there is a serial killer among you? You talk about how it is that some creep is killing some females. Yeah. You talk about it, you raise it, you highlight it, you raise awareness that women might avoid certain routes home, like I said earlier. That People might make sure to double check their surroundings before they get in their cars. Make sure that they check at the back that there's nobody out there just lurking in their backseat waiting to just stab them from the back. That's what's good. That's what happens when a serial killer is lurking in the town, right? There's lots of awareness that's created, news networks covered, that women might watch their backs. Or men, depending on what the serial killer is into. Killing. That's what's good. That's what I'm doing. I'm creating awareness for random buffooneries of incendiary serial killers sending women to eternity far too early, given that they don't know Christ yet, and they're killing them just because they found them on social freaking media. Do you understand what I'm saying? I am a news network anchor lady, creating right awareness, as I ought. I am like a colleague in the office after telling my other colleague, hey, be careful. Before you go in your car, just make sure you check in the backseat and everything before you go in there with a flashlight to ascertain that there's nobody in the backseat, because, hey, there's some backseat serial killer doing the rounds in Johannesburg. That's who I am, just creating awareness. But you see, the thing about creating awareness, somebody that's very influential to create such awareness as this against certain people, the person against whom you are warning is going to feel offended some kind of way, even though they're a creep. Yeah, when they're being warned. When people are being warned against them, I apologize. When the world is out there being warned against you, you are not going to feel like the star of the show. You're not going to feel like an amazing, awesome dude. You're going to feel like the creep that must lurk in the corners. But unfortunately for me, I just so happen to be the news anchor lady that is creating awareness that is not being viewed. Her news network is not being viewed. Her channel is not being viewed. She's severely underrated. And so for those reasons, because she is underrated, the stupid buffoonery of a serial killer now feels entitled to my blood. My blood. Like, yo, I am creating awareness against this random incendiary activity going on the part of occult men that are just grabbing anything they want. They find ladies on the internet, some of them are HIV positive, teeming, coursing through their bloodstream are just a myriad of STDs. All different kinds of things that can make a lady nether regions itch for 20 years. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, stuff that can make a woman infertile is coursing through their bloodstream, and they're insisting on sleeping with your daughter. They like, that's what's going on. That's what's happening. And they are prospering to sleep with your daughter. You know why? Because they dizzy her, hypnotically putting spirals in their eyes with love spells. That is a newsworthy topic. And I am highlighting it, that daughters might be protected. And in so highlighting it, a serial killer is feeling disrespected. What are you doing? You tried to target me the same way that you targeted somebody that did not quite see what was coming. Yeah. And now I must respect you. Yeah, sure, but not Ted Bundy. Isn't Moses Sitole, not the Nazareth serial killer bugger. I booger. Understand, if it's Jack the Ripper, I ain't trying to respect none of that. I'm running. And just because I created awareness in my channel, very satirically, because I used, animated explainers and all that jazz. You think, Uti, it's only a matter of time before you get to me, just because I'm so jocose and so charming, if you want to call it that. In the way that I deliver my content, you anticipate that must mean that you can ultimately get to me. You think I'm a sweet little Gonyana girl. Well, if you think I'm sweet Gonyana, I'm more like a tase, angasi. I'm like an eel, like a jellyfish. If you think I'm sweet, you know what an electric eel is like? It's so cute, it's so beautiful, it's glowing in the ocean. Jellyfish too. Yeah, but they can kill. Is that basic? Do not look at me being a precious looking beautiful flower. Or you know what I'm like as well? Those multicolored froggies that you find in the Amazon. Yeah. Touch one and die. Is that basic? I might be very fluorescent on the outside and pretty looking, but I'm lethal. Because if you touch me, literally it is poisonous to you. So do not look at, like I said, my fluorescent colors, my animations, the jocosity, the satire, the fact that I use so much joking in my ministry. I'm funny. The fact that I pinch my cheeks and bring forth a blush. Do not look at my girly girl disposition. Hey. The stuff that I am, generally the light-hearted, like satirical explainer of an otherwise very dire situation lady, do not mistake me for innocuous. I am not harmless. I am fatal because I belong to the God of the universe, and I am speaking of very important matters. And I'm also highlighting something that ought to be highlighted. Yeah, the fact that you, psychopath, are in the streets lurking and you are yet to be caught. And so, somebody gotta create awareness, otherwise our daughters are gonna keep on getting cluttered, aren't they? They're gonna keep on getting ransacked. And seeing as there's nobody out here prepared to keep on talking about this day and night, bantering and down the throats of people and the minds of people, I'm gonna do it. It's a thankless profession, we get it. It's a thankless job. But if I don't do it, who will? If I don't do it, who will? I'm a victim of it, so I mean, it's especially near and dear to me. Yeah, it's really close, because I'm a victim. I'm a victim too. I have been scouted by ugly little seedy eyes with a menacing disposition and a grimacing smile on the side, a schmuck, if you will. Looking at me salivating, with blood dripping down their knives, after having strewn a trail of cadavers behind them, and now I'm next, and I must just take it. Why? Because we know that, no, dude, cause when ungagara umbokoto, you're King Kong on a mountaintop bashing your chest hade buddy, you are not a man. If you are out here killing some females for refusing to date you, you're the creep lurking in the corners that rapes women, takes what you want, and society is warning against you. Society is menaced by you. Society is afraid of you. Society is locking their doors against you. Other men don't like you because you are slathering their daughters' blood in the streets. You are the anomaly, the serial killer that men and women alike are disinterested in keeping in the streets. But Anibonagali as such, right? Why? Because you're chilling in corporates, 9 to 5s, clocking in every single day, gathering a salary to a point where you can feel like it's necessary for you to say to me that this is tit for tat, Karabo. Either give me your nether regions that I might rub myself against them, or else what? That is just the thing. This job that you have, these jobs that you have in these corporates where you are working, have made you feel like you can just intimidate the living daylights out of an unemployed Christian woman until she finally prostitutes herself to you. And then you are using sorcery to slap her into submission because you're going to impoverish her. Impoverish her. Do you understand what I'm saying? Until she says yes. There is a dude that I gave a chance to be my boyfriend. It didn't last more than 3 weeks. Back when I was, maybe 2019? Yeah, 1920. Yeah, working in Rosebank. Picked me up after work, because I used to work with Rosebank part-time when I was studying at Vid, so I think I was 19 or 20. This dude, I was prepared to let him be my man, type thing. I thought he was good people's. I met him, he liked me. He saw me in the store where I was working, and that's where we exchanged numbers, and I thought, ooh, I think I might have a boyfriend. Cute dude. First day, he picks me up, drops me off at home. Cool, whatever. Next time, picks me up, and I'm thinking we're gonna go eat dinner, lunch, whatever, at dinner. It was at night, right? Because I was working up until the evening. He takes me to a shack, Ko Alex, which was obviously not where he stayed, but like some joint of one of his boys. That was the first issue. Okay, so I'm in a shack, Ko Alex, and I'm not at Panarotti's Pizza eating. I don't know what's going on here. I did not scream or wince or complain, because I was scared I was gonna get raped. I did not complain. I acted cool. I acted cool the whole time so that this dude would not get aggressive on me. Not only did he take me to a shack in Alex, but then he opened a laptop, right? And literally made me watch pornography. He made me watch pornography. He whipped out a laptop and made me watch porn. I was so uncomfortable. I had never seen those images before. I was not the kind of person to choose to watch porn myself. That was the first time I actually saw porn. Ew, guys. I did not know what to do. He was trying to get me sexually charged. I looked around and I was like, my mom is going to complain that I'm home too late. Can you please take me back home? And he was like, okay. He took me to some body's shack that he knew, and he made me watch porn to sexually arouse me so that he could get me to have sex with him in that filthy environment that I didn't even understand. I had never even been in a shack in my life until that day. That man, that dude, he never saw me again after that. But that dude, every single time these filthy men slap me with korobela, I get flash visions of him. That's how God sees him. Men that will take you, that will open up a laptop and show you pornography so you can sleep with them. Because that's exactly how korobela works. You get all these licentious dreams. They're very sexually charged. You're suddenly all erotically aroused in the climate of some dude you don't even know. Or it's some guy from the office, some dude from school, some dude. You get my point. And it's like, but I never used to look at Sizwe like that. Yeah, Sizwe's out there making you watch porn in a dream so that you can look at him the next day in the office and think he's attractive because you had a very steamy dream about him the night before. That's what korobela looks like. They make you watch porn so you can ultimately sleep with them. But just like with me, I found it creepy, I found it eerie. Plus, why am I in a shack? And I told him I gotta go home, and he dropped me off. Thank God I wasn't raped. The Lord has always been with me even before I got saved, even with my indiscretions. I was not the best filter of men back then, and it appears that salvation changed that, didn't it? I'm still drawing them though. That's unfortunate. But these buffoons gotta be called out for what they are. They're perverts, they're lurking serial killers in corners, and they've got a strategy now to harass, ransack, and pilfer. It's not even pilfering. Pilfering is the theft of small things. It's just grand larceny. That's what it is. Women's bodies. They are committing atrocious acts of theft against women's bodies. They're taking their dignity, and it is atrocious acts of theft because sometimes baba siya basari banakadi STDs, some of which are incurable. And this bugger will have slithered his way in, like Janus and Jambres written about in 2 Timothy 3. Yeah, he will have slithered in, this mongrel, this monstrous buffoon, this menacing grimace. Yeah, this gargoyle, this gorgon. Gargoyle. Gorgon is a mad woman like Medusa. Will have done so using Korobel. They will have dizzied women, caused women to believe that they've got genuine emotions for them, genuine feelings. Induced lust in a woman that did not used to look at him that way. Next thing, she slept with a man that's given her 3 STDs, including HIV. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that can drive any 21-year-old to suicide, because she hasn't even started to live yet. And yet here it is that I'm sick with all these multiple diseases because I slept with Tepo. Tepo almost she met him on Facebook and he convinced her, even though initially she didn't want him. And the ones who don't appropriately respond, and by appropriate really I'm putting that in quote marks, by inappropriate response I'm speaking the ones who are reticent anyway, the ones who are unprepared anyway to be with them despite the pull of the washing Tsabona, their jerseys, to be with these dudes. The ones who resist the witchcraft, because it's not just Christians. Trust me, there are women in the world who realize that Nakilo like is some idiot on the internet. I don't like him. Why do I have a crush on him all of a sudden? And they completely ignore him. There are people who resist, even though they don't know God. The ones who don't allow themselves to get pulled gadi washing, they're the ones that then are met with the wrath of these entitled men who feel like they're your daddy. Yeah, they're the ones that get killed. They're the ones that get blocked. That suddenly get the kinds of spells that mess with a woman's career, a woman's business, a woman's this, a woman's that. Yeah, they will come at you below the belt. Or some tit for tat, you will take it in gun. And that's what I've been dealing with. And unfortunately for me, the Lord showed me that these randos are 25-year-olds. Was Tupac not 25 when he died? They are Gen Zs. Gen Zs. The ones that are doing this to me are Gen Zs. It's like they're running a freaking criminal syndicate. You know how gangsters usually are very young? Yeah, they're like a little mafia gang. Whole bunch of skivvies for Pablo Escobar. Yeah, that's what's good. They're young. They're young. 25, 26-year-olds. Actually experimenting in this regard because, while they're still young, having fun, all they want to do is just hit that. And they're saying, 2 is Hlongwane 39 on the internet. That take it or leave it. This is tit for tat. Nothing is for mahala. Oyangi delelanja. Who are you? Who are you? I don't know you. They are disgusting, but they feel like they can speak that way to a woman because she rejected them. And they are prepared to also block careers. And in the worst case scenario, there is one among them who has also conjured up a death spell. A death spell. The dude in America is 4 years older than me. He's 44 this year. He would be like Ikeslayabo. He was similar to them. That evil dwells even in the younger generation. That's why we're going home. The rapture is nigh. It's knocking at the door frantically, bashing it down even with a bomb. Never mind, with a kick. We are going home because if Gen Zs with nothing to lose, so not nothing to lose, but Gen Zs with so much to lose, with so much of a future still to grab, with clean slates, they haven't had children, they haven't gotten married, all that jazz. If a man that can basically clean up his act so he can acquire a life in sense, can at the meager tiny age of 25 do such dastardly stuff, I suka. There's no future. The bugger was America, the 44-year-old. He had already ruined his life. And then now he's suffering from midlife crisis and he wishes he could turn back the hands of time because he thinks he's R. Kelly. Yeah, that bugger. One can sort of kind of sometimes maybe understand why he's acting like this and using so much witchcraft. But these ones are experimental. They're greedy. They're just going to Gold Reef City Casino and just like to gamble every single weekend. A future that frankly has not even yet been acquired. They found this fiery weapon called witchcraft and they played around with it in the wilderness. And they got addicted and demon possessed and gained so much ugly, filthy stuff through it. They gained people's children. They gained women. They slept with them, left them for dead afterwards. The one night stand. They have been gaining little pockets of money. But sorcery. And so because this gambling thing paid off at some point, they got a jackpot. Ding, 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 ding. Now they use it obsessively, addictively, even at their own peril, even when they have met a Christian woman that keeps on warning them, "Unizoboda zinja, you will pass away. You will die." They feel like they've come into some fast money and with no wisdom because the passions of youth are eating them alive like maggots. That's what's good. Yeah. They are busy out here scoring big on the internet, getting women. Gumnand. They've got money. They're like confetti. They're pouring it out in clubs because of how they're getting it so easily through sorcery. And now they're using it, like I said, on women on the internet. It's a whole syndicate, a crime syndicate, like a whole embezzlement syndicate, teaming at the folds with some youngsters. Yeah. Now they've met with a Christian woman, and because they have given themselves a pomp and arrogance and a delusion of grandeur, thanks to everything that they've acquired with sorcery so far, now they out here imagine that it's feasible for them to just, drop like a domino and I'm playing hangman. A woman, just make her die. Because I don't give food. Nobody says no to me. Who gave them that pomp to bash their chest on the mountaintop like King Kong to say no one says no to me? Addiction to sorcery that gave them so much pride and arrogance that now abasazi boni. They can't even see that some women don't owe you respect, bagawai, because you just some skotane from the street that she don't know. All she needs to do is greet you, and if she doesn't want to koma you like proper, she gets to say no. But now you're that skotane that's been made a rapist. Why? Because witchcraft has made you mad. Witchcraft has made you crazy. So because of dabbling with sorcery, now you just feel entitled to taking everything, jefela, everything that comes your way, telling yourself, no one says no to me, kind of dude, to out here, flip a woman's life upside down because though. You asked her out and she didn't say yes to you. That's what happens with men in the occult. They join the occult, they develop a bravado, a delusion of grandeur, they aggrandize themselves, following which they then get really abusive out there without self-checking. Because they're demon-possessed. Get this sorcery. They've been taken away. Their minds are gone. And the Lord showed me that seeing as they're into gambling and they're outside some kind of a casino in Las Vegas like Tupac, they're about to get shot. They're gonna die like Tupac. Young, at the height of their careers, at the height of their glory, at the height of their prime, when people are still expecting so much out of them, and then boom, boom, bang, bang, you are dead outside of a casino at just the tiny age of 25. Lolo Tokafala, I've been warning you, buggers. But the fact that you are all over the show being Moses Itole, little serial killers, roaming around these streets out here, massacring Johannesburg, yeah, the fact that you are the menaces to society that you presently are, is also telling of the times that we're living in. You are like Janus and Jambres in 2 Timothy 3. Arrogant, pompous buffoons, worming your ways into the lives of weak-willed women seeking to burden them with passions. Abanye benu, haleso kulilukula. You have yet to get Z3. You are yet to get HIV. At this rate, however, you will inevitably get it. And you are hitting the ground running for the despised future that the 44-year-old buffoon in America has. You are begging for it. You are begging for destruction. And you feel entitled to everything. Shame. You are young. And so you're still very handsome. And so for those reasons, some of these cherries automatically salivate after you because you're still so good looking. But it's the ones that don't want you that you grab gadi washing. Because you are abusive. I'm your daddy. Shut up. Because you're a serial killer. You are Jack the Ripper. You are creeps, guys. That's all you are. And the fact that ninga hlukumeza kabuhlungu kanjena umfazi ona 39 ayi ngiyabazwela ke abo 22 ngiyaba utlela baba na 25 ngiyaba utlela dithaka lona ke di utlela. Because more so do you disrespect them. More so, if you can disrespect a woman twice your age, how much more disrespectful are you towards women your peers? Aren't you out here in these streets dragging them through the mud? Aren't you out here in these streets dragging them, roofing them in the club? Proper. Right now you're using spiritual roofies because she's at a distance. But how many of those pills do you sprinkle in their drinks? If you can attempt so horribly. Nibayenzani abanye amajenzisi nyabazwela ngiyalutlela la nkutwa letawela kula satane ulithusitse neges not holo not ash la nkutwa. There's no help coming from Satan, but what he's about to do now is kill you. Wale fetsa wale fokotsa wale fofora since le banyane le hlanya le tawisitse kitaba hore le thotse easy money, ill-gotten gain. Go read Proverbs 3. Is it Proverbs 3? Yeah, I believe it's Proverbs 3 or Proverbs 1 or 2. Where it speaks about ill-gotten gain. Zamobalang the Proverbs at all. That you might stay your hands from this insanity. It doesn't end well. My ex-boyfriend, Lena una hlansitswe gas pizza parafini mara at like in his early 30s. Ke cheleta na ithola ka occult monenga je ko umuputso ha kakang. Ongpatla high and low. I guess bicycle sa high. You will inevitably end up like these middle-aged men back Kenyang, hard knock, 22-year-olds. You are going there hitting the ground running. Because Latella today, there is no glory in crime, in sin. It does not pay. Literally, it does not pay. And unfortunately for you guys, you are not even going to get to see the fate of random middle-aged men ba hlanyang ba kulang kajeko. Ba tshwareng ke horisi mo motlhogong, a ba tseba go ba iketseng. They're spinning on the spot and ke ditopo because they can't believe how they squandered their youth. They can't believe it. They are shocked out of their minds that they wasted so much time pursuing rubbish, like just dust. Di pohofolo do. To feel entitled to basadi that are not yours. La hlanya la kula, the serial killer. You are psychopaths. Do a better thing. Nankutla. Repentang. Nklogeleng. And as for your death spells, dala zinjandin. I want to bangi zama. Nobody has prospered. All that's gonna happen, however, is that you are gonna die. Let this be a poignant warning. Tupac, Lamkutla, you will pass away like him outside of your little casinos where you're gambling. Don't say I didn't warn you. I'm signing out in Christ's name, Kren K. Peace.